Hello, dear students, and welcome to the social science classes. Today, I'm going to start the geography part, and we are going to start the third chapter of geography, that is natural vegetation and wildlife. Today, I'm providing you the first part of this video, and this video will come in two parts. Okay, so let's start our chapter. The chapter is natural vegetation and wildlife. So students, as I have explained you earlier also, that this time in geography we are going to learn about the natural resources. In the previous two chapter, we learned about that what are natural resources, the availability of resources, how the resources are changed in the and modified as the utilization of the human beings, and later on in the second chapter we learned about land, soil and water resources. In this chapter we are going to learn about two major important resources, that are natural vegetation and wildlife. All of us are knowing that different resources have different values, but they all are important and we cannot survive without them. Like, life is not possible without land, water, and soil resources. Like that only, life is not be possible without natural vegetation as well as without the animals also. Like we have learned in class 7th about biosphere and ecosystem. We have learned about that all the three realms of the earth, that is the lithosphere, the hydrosphere and the atmosphere, together interact, and the area where all these three realms of the earth interact forms the biosphere. That means biosphere survives at a place where all the necessities are available for the survival of the organisms or human beings. Basically, biosphere means the living beings, plants, animals, and human beings. Now, what are ecosystem? That also we have learned about ecosystems. That means the areas where the living beings and the non-living beings interact with each other and survive on the earth surface. That is only the ecosystems. I have explained to you about this also, that ecosystems can be large also like ocean, and it can be small also like a pond. That means the necessary conditions, whether it is living live for the living beings, the necessary conditions that are necessary for the survival of the human being, so that particular area forms the ecosystem of that place. So students, in this chapter we are going to learn about the natural vegetation. So before starting this chapter, let's know about what is natural vegetation. This we have learned in class 7th also. Natural vegetation, that means the vegetation that grows naturally. The vegetation that grows naturally is natural vegetation without the interference of human being. We can see all around us there are lots of plants and trees that grow naturally on their own without our interference. So that are only known as natural vegetations. So in this chapter we are going to learn about natural vegetation only, and let's see that what are the factors that affect the natural vegetation. This also we all are knowing that the natural vegetation varies from place to place. So the factors that influence the vegetation of a place are relief features. In relief features there is land, soil and altitude. Altitude means height. I've explained to you about this thing also, that the relief feature varies from place to place. Like somewhere it is mountain, somewhere it is river valley, somewhere it is valleys, plateaus, plain areas. So the growth of natural vegetation varies from land to land and from soil to soil also, because there are different kinds of soils, and every kind of soil is suitable for the cultivation or for the growth of different kind of plants and trees or herbs or shrubs. Now, if we will talk about the altitude, the height, we have already seen the plants or the trees that grow in the plain region are totally different from the plants and trees that grow on the mountainous region. So these are the relief features that affect the natural vegetation: land, soil and altitude. Now if we will talk about the other factors that influence the growth of natural vegetation, so that is temperature. Temperature also varies from area to area, and like that only, the trees also need different types of temperature, different kind of temperature to survive or to grow. Some plants need less temperature, some plants need high temperature. Now, photo period. What is the meaning of the word photo period? The meaning of the word photo period means amount of sunlight receives by the particular place. Every place does not receive same amount of sunlight, so sunlight also plays an important role in the growth of natural vegetation. Now, if we will talk about the precipitation, that means the amount of rainfall received in a particular area. So, all these are the factors that influence the natural vegetation of a particular place or all over the world. So, let's revise it once again. What are the factors that influence natural vegetation and wildlife? It will be land, soil, altitude, temperature, and humidity. Photo period, that means amount of sunlight received by that particular place. Precipitation, that means rainfall. Now, on the basis of all these factors, there are three majorly we have three kinds of natural vegetation. This we have already learned in class 7th about natural vegetation. So the three kinds of natural vegetation are forest, grasslands, and deserts. Maybe you all of you have remembered this thing also, that we have learned about the forest in class 7. Types of forest we have learned about the grasslands also. In that we have learned about the uh, in grasslands we have learned about the prairies, velds. In forest we have learned about the tropical forest, that is Amazon basin, subtropical forest, that is Ganga Brahmaputra basin. In desert areas we have learned about Ladakh and South Africa. So all these are the varieties of natural vegetations we have already learned. So this chapter is not going to be very tough for you. It is very easy. It is like the revision of the same portion that we have learned in class 7th. So let's have a look what is forest. So basically what a forest is a place where the ground is covered with tree, herbs, shrubs, creepers, climbers. So forest is a place where there is that ground is surrounded with natural vegetation all around, whether it is tree, herbs, shrubs, creepers, climbers. So a forest is a community of big trees, shrubs, herbs, and associated plants and organisms that cover a large tract of areas. All of us are knowing that forests are very, very large areas. Now, types of forest we are going to learn. Types of forest already we all are knowing, but let's see it once again. First forest is tropical evergreen forest. Next is tropical deciduous forest. Next, temperate evergreen forest, temperate deciduous forest, Mediterranean forest, and taiga, coniferous or boreal forest. All the this taiga forest is having different names, that is coniferous also and boreal also. So students, in this class we are going to learn about tropical forest, both type of tropical forest, evergreen also and deciduous also. We will learn about the temperate forest also, that is evergreen also and deciduous also. And we will learn about the taiga, coniferous or boreal forest. So let's start with the tropical forest. Before knowing this forest, it is important to know that what is tropical region. This also you might be knowing, but let's revise it once again. What is the tropical region? So the area that lies near the equator, okay, that is known as tropical region. The areas that lies from in between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn near the equator, that is only known as tropical region. So the forests that are found near the tropics, near the equator, those forests are known as tropical forest. Students, in the previous class also we learned about this, that tropical forests are of two types, that is tropical evergreen forest and tropical deciduous forest. This also, maybe all of you have remembered this also, that why the tropical evergreen forests are known as evergreen, because these forests do not shed their leaves altogether. These forests remains evergreen throughout the year. And why tropical deciduous forests are known as deciduous forest? Because these forests shed their leaves in the winter season to conserve water, and that is why they are known as deciduous forest. So basically these forests are located near the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, means near the equator between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Now, let's have a look on the tropical evergreen forest. So, the first feature of the tropical evergreen forest is that these forests are located near the tropical region, that means near the equator. The second point is this area receives heavy rainfall throughout the year. That means for the whole year, for every 12 months, these areas receive heavy rainfall that is more than 200 centimeter. This is only the region why this area or why these forests are known as evergreen forest. Now, the temperature remains high throughout the year. Since this area is located near the equator, that means it receives maximum sunlight, and this is only the region that the temperature here is very high, and the high temperature results in heavy evaporation, and that high evaporation results in high precipitation. That is only the reason why this area receives heavy rainfall. Now, if we will talk about that where are the tropical evergreen forest lies, the tropical evergreen forest we have learned about the Amazon basin. You might be remembering this. The African Congo basin, eastern and western slope of Western Ghats in India. You cannot imagine the route of Maharashtra. Whenever we go to Mumbai, the route of Maharashtra all around, that means both the side of the trains, the Western Ghats, the mountains of the Western Ghats remains evergreen throughout the year. Rainfall can happen anytime to these places. So the Western Ghats of India, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala and Maharashtra. Okay, and these forests are also found in Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Tripura, West Bengal and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So these forests are also known as tropical rainforest. Now why it is known as tropical rainforest? These forests are known as tropical rainforest because it receives rainfall throughout the year, or we can say heavy rainfall throughout the year. Now these forests are also called tropical rainforest. One reason is also there, they these forests are known as evergreen because they do not shed their leaves altogether. The trees of these forests do not shed their leaves altogether. Some more points if we'll talk about. So these, since these forests receives heavy rainfall, so these forests are very thick forest. The trunk of the trees are very thick. Tall trees are found here, and if we can say that the ground is also covered with creepers, the trees are covered with climbers, and the trees form a canopy like structure. Canopy we have already learned. I will show you the canopy like structure also. This is the canopy like, means the trees form a structure so that the sun rays also do not able to penetrate. So that is only known as the canopy like structure. Now let's come to the tropical deciduous forest. Before starting this, the trees that are basically found in tropical evergreen forest are the hardwood. Hardwood trees means the rosewood, mahogany tree, cinchona tree, ebony are some of the commonly found trees in tropical evergreen forest. Now, let's start tropical deciduous forest. So students, tropical deciduous forest also found near the tropics. But these forests are basically found in the areas that receives lesser rainfall and had a hot climate. Lesser rainfall means in comparison to the tropical evergreen areas, these areas receive less rainfall. These forests are also known as monsoon forest because these areas do not receive rainfall throughout the year. These areas receive rainfall only in the monsoon season. That is why it is also known as monsoon forest. The climate here remains hot and humid. The climate here is hot and wet, that is hot and humid. These are open forest and the trees are not very tall. The trees of tropical deciduous forests are of medium height. As sunlight reaches the lower layers, there is a good growth of shrubs and bushes also. We can find shrubs and bushes also in these forests. The trees of these forests shed their leaves in dry season to conserve water. So basically, they used to shed their leaves to conserve some water in themselves during the dry season. The most common trees of tropical deciduous forest are teak, sal, shisham, and bamboo. Now, if we will talk about that where are these forests found, so these forests are basically found in the tropical in northeastern states, parts of West Bengal, along the Western Ghats also in Andaman and Nicobar Island also. That means tropical deciduous forests are also found near the areas where tropical evergreen forests are found. These forests are also found near the peninsular plateau, foothills of the Himalayas, and eastern parts of northern plains. That means the areas where we reside, near all these areas, this Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal and all these areas are having temperate deciduous forest only. The trees that are found in our region also shed their leaves in the autumn season. That proves that the trees that are found in Uttar Pradesh or in our region are the trees of temperate deciduous forest. Now, let's come to the next type of forest, that is temperate forest. Before knowing about this forest, it is important to know that what is temperate region. So temperate region means the region between, this region lies in both the hemisphere, in the northern hemisphere also and in the southern hemisphere also. If we will talk about the northern hemisphere, then from the tropic of Cancer to the Arctic Circle, it is temperate zone. And in the southern hemisphere, from the Tropic of Capricorn to the Antarctic Circle, it is southern temperate zone. So the forest that lies here, you can see in the map, the yellow area is the temperate area. And you can see we have done the map activity in class 7th of the forest distribution in all over the world. So you can see the temperate zone, the yellow part is the area that is having the temperate forest, and in the southern hemisphere also there are some areas that is having the temperate forest. Now, temperate forests are also of two types. Temperate forests are also of two types, like tropical forest, temperate evergreen forest, and temperate deciduous forest. Why temperate evergreen forest? Because they do not shed their leaves altogether. And why temperate deciduous forest? Because they shed their leaves altogether. Why it is temperate evergreen forest? Because it receives rainfall, good rainfall. And why it is deciduous forest? Because it receives monsoon rainfall. So let's talk about the temperate evergreen forest. Temperate evergreen forests are basically found near the mid latitudinal position, that means near the temperate zone, the between 30 degree to 50 degree of latitude. These forests are found in areas with mild winter. These forests are found in areas that receives mild winter, little bit winter, and abundant rainfall. That means here also the rainfall is heavy. There are two types of trees in this forest. Two types of trees are found here. One is broadleaf trees and needle leaf trees. As it is mentioned here that these forest receives winters also, that is why there are some trees that survive in the winter season, that is having the needle leaf trees, and broadleaf trees are basically for the summer season. So the broadleaf evergreen forest have medium sized trees with small leathery leaves, like evergreen oak, laurels, and magnolia. These are the type of trees that are having broad leaves. Now if we will talk about the needle leaf trees, so basically these type of trees are found in southeastern US, and basically in this pine trees are there. Pine trees are conical in shape and of needle leaves, and in winter season they grow in temperate evergreen forest. So students, whenever we talk about the temperate forest now, So temperate forest is mixed of all the forest. You can see here evergreen forest also, you can see here deciduous forest also, and at the altitude if we will go, then we will see the coniferous trees also. So that is why these forests are having needle leaf structures also. Now these forests also remains evergreen throughout the year. Now if we will talk about the temperate deciduous forest. So, temperate deciduous forests are basically found in the regions where the summers are wet. That means the areas that receive rainfall in summers and cool frosty winters. That means they receive a good winter season also. The trees are broadleaf with a dense canopy in summer. In summer, the growth of trees are very good and they form a canopy like structure. That means the tree become dense in the summer season when there is rainfall. If we will talk about this time in India, this is the time when there is rainfall also and little bit summer also. This time the trees that are in the temperate deciduous region, that will be totally green. The trees, if you will see around you, you will see greenery all around you. The trees are fullest on their fullest charm, they are green. So this is the time when there is summer in the temperate region, like this only, there the trees are fullest on their charm, lots of leaves are there and they become dense. They form a canopy like structure, and canopy like structure, that means the trees do not allow sunlight to penetrate. These trees shed their leaves in winters. They used to shed their leaves in winter to conserve water. These forests are mostly found in northern hemisphere. These forests, temperate deciduous forests, are very less in the southern hemisphere. They are basically found in the northern hemisphere. If we will talk about the trees that grow in temperate deciduous forest, so that is birch, beech, ash, elm and maple. These are the famous trees or the most common trees of the temperate deciduous forest. Now let's have a look on the last type of forest, that is taiga, boreal, coniferous forest. So basically these types of forest are grown in the, we can say that these type of forests are grown at higher altitude. As you can see, these type of forests have cone shaped trees, conical trees. That is why they are known as coniferous trees. They are known as boreal because the trees of these forests are having needle leaf structures, because these areas receives good winter, frosty winter, and they receives snowfall, and these trees becomes like this during the winters. So these forests are majorly found between 50° to 70° latitudes in Asia and in Europe also, and there are some forests in North America also. In North America, these forests are known as boreal forest. So basically these trees are, or these type of forest are found on higher altitudes, that means in the mountainous region. These are evergreen coniferous forests with cone shaped trees that have straight trunk and small narrow needle like leaves. As you can see in the picture, the trees of taiga forest are long trees having cone shaped and straight trunks and small narrow needle like leaves, so that snow can easily be melt from their leaves. In the types of trees that can grow here are red pine, white pine, spruce, firs and larches. In India, coniferous trees are basically found on higher slopes of Himalayas, in Kashmir, in Himachal Pradesh and in Uttarakhand and Arunachal Pradesh. Now let's have a look why forests are important for us. So, first of all, the accessory function of the forest. So, forest provides aesthetics. That means the beauty of the nature is provided by the forest. It provides habitat to various floras, various plants, species, various kinds of flowers, food, fruits. grow in the forest areas. It also provide habitat to the fauna, that means animals. Besides that, it also has an recreational values, that means it is forest. All of us are wish to watch nature for some time. That means nature gives us a peace and happiness in our mind. So it is also having an aesthetic, that means a beauty in the nature that forest provides. Now it is a by consuming large amount of carbon dioxide that exists in the atmosphere, the trees and plants of the forest help in reducing the global warming also. All of us are knowing that global warming increases by the increase in carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So the forest consume the carbon dioxide and reduces the global warming also. Now, if we will talk about the production of oxygen, so plants and trees that resides in the forest are the biggest product producers of the oxygen also, because as all of us are knowing that plants and trees prepare their food by the process of photosynthesis, and they release oxygen gas in the atmosphere during this process. That is why they are also known as lungs of the earth. Now, conservation of soil. So, the main feature, the trees and the plants used to bind the soil. The roots or the deep roots of the trees bind the soil particles tightly, so it reduces the erosion of the soil. So forest also helps in the conservation of soil. They prevent soil erosion by binding the soil particle tightly in their roots. They also reduce the velocity of wind. All of us are, we have learned about the shelter, we have learned about na shelter belts in the, I think in soil erosion, how to reduce soil erosion. So, shelter belts. The trees act as barriers in the path of wind, and it reduces the velocity and speed of the wind and rain also, which are chief agents causing erosion. Now, economical importance of forest. Forest provides us timber, fuel wood, raw materials for food based industries as well as food, and there are many miscellaneous products like oil, gums, honey, latex, resin. All these are the products that are being sandalwood that are being provided to us by the forest only. Absorption of air pollutants. Students, you might be not knowing about this, that the pollution that are caused by us, the air pollution that are caused by us are, or the gases, the toxic gases in that are basically purified by the plants and trees of the forest. Absorption of noise also. Forest cover absorbs the noise and help in preventing noise pollution also. So have you seen that how forests are helpful for us? You cannot imagine your life without the products that we get from the forest. Think about the newspaper you read, the pencil you use, the fruits you have for breakfast, the bus or car you travel into school, even your books with which you study, your copies. So the list is endless. We cannot imagine our life without the forest also. Forests are the natural habitat of plant and wildlife also. We humans dependent on forest for our food, for medicines, for fuels, for clothing, as well as for the shelter also. Forest, many people are also dependent on the forest for their livelihood. Beside forest help prevent soil erosion, help maintain the water cycle, and check global warming by using carbon dioxide in photosynthesis and renewing the oxygen supply in the atmosphere. So all these are the importance of the forest, but nowadays forests are reducing by deforestation. So let's see what are deforestation. Easy simple meaning of deforestation is cutting the trees. So since the population is increasing, human needs are increasing day by day, so the permanent destruction of forest is called deforestation. That means we are reducing the forest, we are cutting the trees, we are building our houses there, industries there. Okay, so how, what are the causes of the deforestation? Infrastructure development. We are cutting trees for making our houses, for making highways, for making dams, for making airports. Forest fire. You have seen in 2019 about the Amazon forest fire, you learn, you have listened in the news also. So forest fire also reducing, or these are the natural causes of the reduction of the plants and trees in the forest. Overgrazing by the animals, natural forces. There are many natural reasons also, like floods, storms, heavy winds, snow, lightning. All these also causes deforestation, loss of trees. Growing food demand, day by day our demand for food is increasing. That means more and more land is needed for the cultivation process, and that is why forests are being exhausted for the agricultural practices. Firewood, that means woods are necessary for fire also. Wood is a good fuel used by people for cooking food and for various purposes. So, increased demand of wood for fuel increases pressure on the forest. Raw materials for wood based industries. The industries that rely on woods, that means the paper industries also. That is why it is said that to conserve the paper. So, increasing demand of wood for making furniture, plywood, matchboxes results into tremendous pressure on forest. So, students, this is all for today. We have learned about what are forests, what is natural vegetation, types of forest we have seen. We have seen what are the importance of forest in our life, and we have seen what are the reasons or the causes for the deforestation. In the next part, I will explain you about the wildlife, and we will see that how we can conserve the wildlife and natural vegetation. This is all for today. Thank you, students.